Welcome to Wanja's Health Diary. Sickle cell anemia is an inherited condition where the red blood cells form a sickle shape instead of being round and flexible. So this discussion today, we host Lilian Mbori, who's going to take us through a journey about her daughter, who's today 12 years old and has an amazing story on the management of sickle cell anemia. Karibu sana, Lilian. What was the diagnosis? What triggered that suspicion so that then would lead to sickle cell anemia diagnosis?
Let me start by saying at around 5 months, her fingers got swollen. When I took her to the pediatrician, he didn't think it's anything to worry me, so we ignored. And then 3 to 4 months later, I noticed she kept crying a lot, and you could see the grimace on her face. It's almost like she was in pain. And I also noticed she was kind of pale. So I thought maybe this just needs a good evaluation from another pediatrician, a second opinion. So when I took her to be seen by this other pediatrician, that is when the diagnosis was made.
At 8 months, what happened?
Let me say my worst fears were confirmed. The crying was because the child was having a crisis, pain crisis, all over the body, and also the paleness was because of the anemia.
How do you manage the condition then, and what have you learned over the years about the management of sickle cell anemia?
Let me say I had a doctor who worked with me through the diagnosis, so I knew what to expect. So having known what to expect, I'm able to tell when she's going into a crisis, and we take steps to actually avert, or at least if it's there, it doesn't become so severe. Yeah, for example, when she turned 2 years, she ended up with stroke from sickle cell. And so we went into something called, chronic blood therapy. So almost for every month we had to go get blood, because her blood level, her HB needed to be 9, or the risk was that she would get another stroke. So those are some of the things we're doing, and of course she's on daily treatment.
Have there been adjustments that you've had to make at home and also in school? And given that a child is growing, definitely the urge to play and adventure then grows every other day.
Yeah, given their anemic condition, they tire easily, so exertion is bad for them, because again she will end up with a crisis if she's tired. So we limit, not just stop, but we limit what she gets involved in. She can't get involved in active sports, yeah. And then if she's tired, she needs to rest. She can't swim. We've had episodes where she swam and ended up with a very bad pneumonia. So swimming is a no-no. So yes, every time she enters into a class, I need to sit the teacher down and explain, because she needs to take a lot of fluids. Because remember, these sickle-shaped cells, they kind of get the block. So when we take a lot of fluids, it flashes. So every place where they get stuck, that's where the pain is. Could be the hips, it could be the thighs. So we take a lot of fluids. So again, you have to explain to the teacher that allow her to take as much fluids as possible. And if she wants to go to the toilet, like even 5-6 times, let it be. So this is something you need to explain so that the child is understood.
When you sat down with her and had this conversation, how old was she and how did she take it?
The lessons we have come in doses, because again, you don't say it all. So we started at around 4 years, just letting her know you're on drugs because you have this condition. Next time you tell her this condition is hereditary. So as we speak right now, she knows that her condition, it's because I had the gene, the father had the gene, and we ended up with her. So she knows, and she knows that there's no treatment for it. And she knows what she needs to do whenever she feels that she's getting into a crisis. Yeah.
And because it's an inherited condition, have you had a chance to either check on your side or on her dad's side, or even probably further down in the generations to find out whether there was a family member who had the condition?
Well, my side, I wasn't able to tell because I've never seen anybody with sickle cell. But my husband's side, the stepsister had 2 kids with it, so we dismissed it as a stepsister. And besides, there was no history in my place. It takes 2 to tangle and make the sickle cell. So we dismissed it. It's until her diagnosis that it came to a realization that if she has sickle cell, it only means we are carriers. So we did the test and we confirmed that we are both carriers. Of course, a shocker to me because this was not something I knew I was carrying.
And as a mother, what would you tell other mothers who have children who have conditions that would limit their play and their lifestyle? What has that experience taught you?
Experience has taught me, first, you need to be in a place mentally to take care of this child. But you need to start first, accept that this is a condition that will always live with my child. Moving forward, how can I support my child? But because remember, you are the one who will hold her hand through it. So, one, get to know about this condition, the do's and the don'ts. Have candid discussions with your doctor. Know your limitations, and importantly, let your child know what they are having, so that as they grow, they're also able to now take responsibility for their health. Yes, I think denial is one thing that it will impede, progress in taking care of this child.
Right, and as we wind up, what's the treatment plan? And given the current management, what do you hope for in terms of treatment possibilities in Kenya in the next 5 years?
I'm sorry, but I'm still not so hopeful about sickle cell in Kenya, because as we speak, public awareness is not there. So until we start having these conversations, that is when I will say at least there's some light at the end of the tunnel. Even the public health system in Kenya, right now we are talking cancer, we're talking hypertension, diabetes. These are NCDs, non-communicable diseases. But I'm yet to hear somebody talking about sickle cell. So that for me it will go a long way. But once we embrace it, that it is there, I think we will be able to deal with it. At the moment, it is very expensive to have a child with sickle cell, because remember, these are people on treatment daily. You have doctor's appointments. Mine has numerous transfusions. So it is a costly disease, and insurance are not ready to take you in. So it's out of the pocket to fund their medical. So it is something you need to prepare mentally to cope with.
Approximately per month, what are some of the costs that goes to the treatment and management for your daughter's condition?
We do all vaccines, and I mean all vaccines, because this is somebody who needs to be protected. We are on a regimen of three drugs. So let me say I spend like over 10,000 in a month. And remember, she also has to have frequent doctor's appointments just to find out how she's faring. So we are talking 10,000 and over. That is outpatient. If it's inpatient, of course, this even, I can't even say triple. We're talking over 100,000 for every admission. Yeah.
Looking at the bright side, what is her personality? What is different? What's unique about her? What's the one thing that you look at her and say, hey, that's my girl?
I like her personality. She's a jovial girl. She doesn't let sickle cell bring her down. Yeah, so for me, she's a warrior. She loves dancing. She loves everything that every other 12-year-old loves. So I'm happy that she is indeed fighting it in her own way. She doesn't allow it to bring her down. Yeah.
Thank you, and keep encouraging her. It is, persons like you, a mother, a brother, a sister, who remain her hope and also encourage her that tomorrow will bring, better gain. So thank you for watching Wanja's Health Diary, and there you have it. We need to have candid, honest conversations about sickle cell anemia.